Liz Fosslien, Big Feelings, How to Be Okay When Things Are Not Okay. Dive into the world of Big Feelings, How to Be Okay When Things Are Not Okay, by Liz Fosslien, and explore how to navigate the uncertainties, comparisons, anger, and other emotions that may arise in life. This book summary offers insightful strategies to handle every emotion, from sitting with your uncertainties to embracing the power of comparison and transforming anger into something productive. Learn how to cope with burnout, overcome perfectionism, and find your way through despair while understanding the importance of giving yourself a break and trusting your instincts. Get ready to transform your emotional experiences and pave the way for personal growth and self-improvement.
Embracing uncertainty. Uncertainty is an incredibly stressful part of life, and we often try to avoid it at all costs. However, learning to face uncertainty head-on, identify specific worries, and distinguish between what we can and cannot control help us cope with uncertainty in a healthier way. Liz, the co-author, found herself in a whirlwind of uncertainty when she experienced sudden, incapacitating headaches. Doctors were unable to diagnose her condition, leaving her to undergo various treatments with no clear resolution. What's worse than the headache itself was the uncertainty surrounding it. Scientific studies reveal that stress levels are higher when faced with a 50% chance of a negative outcome rather than a 90% probability. The unknown causes heightened anxiety as people crave certainty, even when expecting unpleasant events. So, how can we deal with uncertainty when it inevitably appears in our lives? Firstly, don't shy away from it. Instead of burying yourself in distractions, confront your uncertainty head-on. Allow the discomfort to sit with you for a while, try counting to 90, and you may discover the panic has subsided. Next, pinpoint your worries. Ask yourself what you genuinely fear and consider each possible outcome. This breakdown sheds light on the specifics of your anxiety, making uncertainty feel more manageable. However, remember not to catastrophize the situation. The worst-case scenario is not guaranteed, so envision the best outcome as well. While exploring these scenarios, you'll notice there are aspects you can control and those you can't. Heed the wise adage and focus on distinguishing between the two. Put your energy into what you can control and come to terms with the rest. As for Liz's journey, she eventually learned to live with her migraines by taking action on the aspects she could control while accepting the pain as a part of her life. Her story serves as a testament to the power of transforming uncertainty into acceptance. Embracing life path differences. It's natural to compare ourselves to others, especially in the era of social media. However, embracing our unique life paths, acknowledging our emotions and learning from envy can lead to personal growth. It also ultimately strengthens our cherished relationships and allows us to navigate through life's diverse stages. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves walking side by side with close friends, sharing similar milestones. However, it's not unusual for these paths to diverge, leaving us feeling envious or disconnected. Molly and Vanessa, bonded through a long-lasting friendship, both experienced tremendous success. Yet, when Vanessa became pregnant, Molly struggled to cope with the shift in their dynamic. Living in the world of constant online connectivity, we are prone to comparing ourselves with others. This frequently leads to feelings of envy and inadequacy. While it's nearly impossible to completely avoid these comparisons, it's essential to recognize and examine them genuinely. By asking ourselves what aspects of others' lives incite envy, we can gain a better understanding of our desires and needs. Sometimes, upon introspection, we may discover that the object of our envy isn't something we authentically desire. For example, author Liz felt envious of a friend's high-level business position but realized she would not enjoy the responsibilities and challenges that came with it. Other times, envy can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and self-discovery. When successful lawyer Gretchen Rubin learned that a former classmate had become a writer, it made her reevaluate her career path. This eventually led her to pursue her passion for writing and become a best-selling author. Although comparisons can be painful, they can also act as powerful tools for self-reflection and improvement. However, it's vital not to let them envelop us in negativity. Remember that social media only showcases the highlights of people's lives, not their daily struggles. It's essential to celebrate our own journey without constantly measuring it against others. Life stages vary from person to person, and that is completely normal. As for Molly, she eventually reconnected with Vanessa and shared her feelings about their differing life paths. Vanessa understood her emotions, and their friendship was able to endure the test of time. By acknowledging and embracing our unique paths in life, we can grow into our best selves while continuing to nurture the relationships that truly matter. Channeling anger constructively. Embrace anger as a natural response to injustice, and harness its energy to create positive change. Acknowledge and understand the root of your anger, find patterns, and transform it into a driving force for growth and creativity. Meditate for a clearer state of mind and utilize anger strategically to progress in life. Not all big feelings are inherently bad, and this includes anger. Take the story of Griffin, a friend of the author's who faced an unfortunate incident at work. While on a trip with his multinational company, a senior team member harassed Griffin, leading to feelings of shame and confusion. Initially, Griffin kept his anger bottled up due to his upbringing, which taught him anger was negative. It was only after realizing the truth about the incident that he allowed himself to feel angry. Griffin didn't choose to file a lawsuit. Instead, he used his anger as motivation to work hard and land a new job. This shows that anger can sometimes be a righteous and reasonable response to the injustices we face. Suppressing anger is unhealthy, as it will inevitably find a way to surface. Instead, we should learn to embrace and deal with it constructively. To manage your anger effectively, the first step is recognizing it. If anger is a recurring issue, consider keeping an anger log for a week where you note down every situation that triggers it. This will help you identify patterns in your responses to various incidents. Moreover, reflect on how you react to anger. There are those who suppress anger, which isn't healthy, and those who project it onto others, creating more damage. If you fall into the latter category, give yourself time to cool down before engaging with others. Some people act as if everything is fine, hiding anger under a facade of control. This also isn't a practical approach. Instead, strive to be an anger transformer. Harness the energy of your anger and redirect it towards something productive and creative. Understand that anger can promote mental clarity and lead to growth if utilized effectively. Becoming an anger transformer doesn't mean being overly aggressive or confrontational. Try meditation to reach a clear state of mind without reacting solely on an emotional impulse. The primary goal is to not deny your emotions but to use them strategically to move forward in life. By acknowledging and transforming anger, you can tap into its potential to create a positive impact and drive personal progress. Escaping the burnout abyss. Molly's burnout journey began while she juggled consulting work and first-time authorship. After a severe cold took its toll, she reassessed her priorities, opting for an 80% work capacity to regain her life balance. Gaining clarity on her values, motivations, and boundaries helped her redefine her career and prevent future burnout. Molly, a consultant for a global innovation firm, found herself engulfed in a fast-paced lifestyle as she traveled the world and co-wrote her first book with Liz. On a particularly hectic day of business trips and meetings, Molly noticed her stress envelope into anxiety when a fellow passenger suddenly coughed. Although this was a pre-pandemic event, Molly realized catching even a simple cold threatened her packed schedule and success. As fate would have it, Molly soon caught a cold, a debilitating one. Despite her best efforts to trudge forward, her health forced her to cancel numerous engagements surrounding the book launch. Reflecting on her breaking point, Molly realized her body was demanding change. Desperate for recovery, Molly took several precautions. She and her husband relocated from bustling New York to the tranquil environment of LA. Molly allowed herself forgiveness for missing a gym session or delaying an email response. Ultimately, she designed a career that allocated enough time for her well-being. Molly's story underscores that burnout isn't exclusive to jet-setting professionals. Burnout can manifest from exhaustion, feelings of inadequacy, or a lack of meaning in one's work. The symptoms vary, but the underlying message remains the same: change is necessary. To prevent burnout like Molly's, it's essential to embrace operating at 80% capacity, leaving room for non-work pursuits. Reevaluating personal values and priorities can provide insight into which tasks are devoid of meaning and contribute to feelings of overwhelm. By focusing on what truly matters and distancing oneself from trivialities, one can regain control and prevent burnout. Furthermore, it's crucial to recognize when the effort exerted in a task yields little sense of accomplishment. Such a discrepancy between work and satisfaction signals the need for a career reassessment. Identifying and aligning with genuine values can ultimately pave the way for a more sustainable and fulfilling work-life balance, allowing individuals to escape the abyss of burnout. Embracing imperfections. Everyone has flaws, and for some, those flaws manifest as perfectionism. To combat the paralyzing effects of perfectionism, it helps to become comfortable with the idea of failure, recognize that friends don't hold you to the same standards, and give your internal perfectionist voice a name to separate it from your true self. By embracing your imperfections, you'll cultivate healthier relationships and a happier life. Liz had a pair of well-worn pajama pants and a peculiar taste for soy sauce-drenched popcorn. She even had a habit of pacing through her cluttered apartment during midnight hours to exhaust her restless energy. Like all of us, Liz was far from perfect. However, the pressure she felt to maintain perfection led to a bout of panic when her boyfriend offered to make her soup while she was sick. The thought of him seeing her disorderly home was enough to induce nausea. Perfectionism pervades the lives of many, either in their personal or professional spheres. While some argue that it can lead to productivity and high standards, others encounter paralysis and undue stress due to their fixation on perfection. So how can we learn to let go of perfectionism? One essential key is learning to become comfortable with what you perceive as failure. We often view failure and success as dichotomous, yet life consists of a blend of both. Failures offer crucial lessons that propel us forward. By recognizing this and shifting our mindset, we can embrace imperfections and relinquish the suffocating grip of perfectionism. Another technique is to evaluate how the people you care about perceive you. Chances are, they don't hold you to the same standards you subject yourself to. Your friends are unlikely to adore you for having a color-coded calendar or a spotless email inbox. Instead, they value your personality, your generosity, and your overall character. Acknowledging this discrepancy between your self-imposed expectations and others' perceptions can lessen the burden of perfectionism. Lastly, try assigning a name to your internal perfectionist voice. This detachment empowers you to recognize perfectionist thoughts as separate from your authentic self. By acknowledging the voice's input as that of a distinct entity, you can more easily silence unhelpful demands. In Liz's story, her fear of revealing her imperfections to her boyfriend proved unfounded. After seeing her messy apartment, the couple eventually moved in together and later married. Embracing your imperfections doesn't signify lower standards, but rather allows room for growth, self-acceptance, and a more fulfilling life. Overcoming despair one moment at a time. Molly's story highlights the dark depths of despair and the importance of taking it one moment at a time on the journey of recovery. Indulging yourself, celebrating small accomplishments, and seeking empathetic connections are vital tools to get through periods of despair. Molly, a 32-year-old published author, suddenly found herself enveloped in despair despite a happy marriage and no previous history of depression. A culmination of unmanageable chronic pain and mounting stress from her efforts to conceive led her to contemplate suicide during a work trip. However, at the crucial moment, she couldn't bring herself to take that final step. Despair is a menacing emotion that's been increasingly affecting people in the U.S. In coping with despair, it's crucial to understand that it cannot be cured instantly. The key is finding ways to gradually work through it. One often heard piece of advice is to take things one day at a time. However, in the depths of despair, even an evening can feel excruciatingly long. Instead, try taking it one moment at a time. To make those moments bearable, permit yourself to indulge in little joys, such as hot showers, light-hearted movies, or ice cream treats. These seemingly frivolous acts can become essential coping mechanisms during dark times. Moreover, learn to recognize and celebrate your small accomplishments. Even mundane tasks like going to the pharmacy can be a challenge when in despair. Acknowledging your ability to accomplish these tasks is a reminder of the strength you possess. Lastly, connecting with people who genuinely understand your despair can make a significant difference. Seek out empathetic friends who can support you, and distance yourself from those unable to grasp your struggle, even if just temporarily. Over time, Molly managed to rise above her despair. She triumphed over her challenges through a combination of small life changes, such as a new job, joining a book club, and her husband's unwavering support. Her experience stands as a testament to the resilient strength within us, proving that we can find a way to overcome despair, one moment at a time. Overcoming regret's different forms. As humans, we're hardwired for regret. It helps us learn from mistakes. But it's possible to manage regret by understanding its 6 types and employing different strategies for each. Hindsight and alternate self-regrets require re-evaluating rose-tinted visions of alternate realities, while rushing in and dragging out regrets can be addressed by learning from past decision-making. Acknowledging our instincts and practicing self-analysis combats ignoring your instincts and self-sabotage regrets. Instead of dwelling on the past, shift your focus to the practical potential and endless possibilities of the future. During her childhood, Liz would spend every summer with her grandmother in Germany, making precious memories of quaint wallpaper and cozy armchairs. However, when her grandmother passed away, Liz opted not to return to Germany due to work commitments, a decision she later regretted. Regret is an inherent part of human nature as it serves as a means for us to learn from our mistakes. Nonetheless, we often find ourselves feeling regretful even when we've made reasonable decisions or faced unavoidable circumstances. To better handle regret, it's crucial to understand its 6 types and utilize different strategies accordingly. Hindsight and alternate self-regrets involve looking back at situations and decisions with thoughts of, if only. The best approach here is to avoid idealizing other possible outcomes, as even in those alternate realities, other challenges would manifest. Recognize that you have grown since past decisions and cherish who you've become through the experiences you've had. Rushing in and dragging out regrets stem from impulsive or delayed actions that produce unfavorable outcomes. To remedy this, analyze why you made those decisions and apply the lessons learned to improve future decision-making. Ignoring your instincts. Regrets occur when we don't listen to our intuition, but these instances offer the silver lining of validating our instincts. Use these moments as a reminder to trust your gut instincts going forward. When dealing with self-sabotage regrets, which are common in addiction struggles, self-analysis is essential. By being honest and understanding why certain decisions were made, you can work toward personal growth and better choices. Though it may be impossible to eradicate regret entirely, shifting the focus from should-haves to what-ifs offers a more constructive perspective. Embrace the unpredictability of the future and explore its endless opportunities with lessons from your past. Years later, Liz faced another family situation. This time, her father was in the hospital, and her mother assured her not to worry about visiting. Reflecting on her previous experience with regret, Liz decided to follow her instincts and boarded the next flight to be with her family.
In the book, Big Feelings, How to Be Okay When Things Are Not Okay, Liz Fosslien provides valuable advice on handling different emotions and situations life may throw at us. By learning to sit with uncertainty, acknowledging your emotions during difficult times, and channeling your anger into creative outlets, you can emerge stronger and more resilient. Additionally, identifying the root causes of burnout, overcoming perfectionism, and handling moments of despair with self-compassion will lead to continued personal growth. As you reflect on the significant points covered in this summary, remember that embracing your emotions and taking time for self-care is essential for a balanced and fulfilling life.